Peace and blessings. I'm Ayodele Gogo Fuega of spiritmagic.com. That's Spirit, MAJIK.com. We're launching 88 powerful prayers for permanent prosperity in our lives. Today is day 33. 33 is a master number. One of the meanings of 33 is that you're surrounded and supported by the ascended masters in the universe. That includes Kuan Yin, the Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, Yeshua, Jesus, and whomever else, whatever mystic or spiritual leader you connect most with or you feel closest to. Know that entity or that aspect of God is near you, surrounding you and supporting you. So take a few deep breaths in. I'm really excited about today's prayer. It's very powerful. It came to me when I was driving in the car a few days ago. I've been off of the camera, but I'm picking things up with 88 days. With this prayer, it really feels like a purification of the soul, purification of the heart, purification of the mind. It makes you feel like your burdens are lifting and being released from you. So I hope that you enjoy this prayer as much as I do. It's really like an affirmation. But let's take a few deep breaths, get rooted and grounded in this now present moment. Life is easy here. Nothing else to do but pray. Nothing else to do but take care of your soul and connect with the absolute power and existence, God, which exists at the very core and center of you, which animates every cell in your body, your very life, your very joy, your very strength, your very wisdom and intelligence, your very mind, your very spirit. Your exactly spirit is God. I love a quote from the spiritual living centers, or the Centers for Spiritual Living, which were founded back in like the 30s by Ernest Holmes. They say the outermost God is the innermost God. These are the same God. So the biggest, grandest, most extraordinary and powerful God we can imagine is the same God that exists at the core of us as our very self. So take a few deep breaths. We're breathing, we're feeling good. So here's the prayer. Okay? I forgive myself. 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 I forgive myself for everything and anything. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for all perceived mistakes of the past. I forgive myself for having regrets. I forgive myself for taking this long to forgive myself. I forgive myself completely. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for every wrong word. I forgive myself for withholding love from other people. I forgive myself for being afraid. I forgive myself for judging myself and others. I forgive myself for withholding forgiveness. I forgive myself for gaining a few pounds. I forgive myself for eating the burger. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for not exercising as much as I think that I could or that I would like to. I forgive myself for yelling. I forgive myself for losing my temper. I forgive myself for mismanaging my time and my money. I forgive myself for holding a grudge. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for forgetting that I am the magic and the magic is me. I forgive myself for doubting that my prayers are powerful. I forgive myself for second guessing myself. I forgive myself for doubting myself. I forgive myself for being afraid. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for every mistake, every wrong word, every misdeed. I forgive myself. I forgive myself of my past. I forgive myself for entering into relationships when I knew it wasn't right for me. I forgive myself for getting married the second time. I forgive myself for staying as long as I did. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for knowing that someone was wrong for me and allowing them to stay in my life. I forgive myself for going to college. I forgive myself for not going to college. I forgive myself for studying whatever I studied. I forgive myself. I forgive myself myself for being a single mother. I forgive myself for having different baby fathers. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for not communicating better. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for not knowing certain things. I forgive myself for not reading as much as I would like to. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for not drinking enough water. I forgive myself for not getting the car fixed in time. I forgive myself for not having a car. I forgive myself for gambling all my money away. I forgive myself for drinking too much. I forgive myself for partying a lot. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for liking sex so much. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself even as God forgives me. I give up the ability to remember my wrongs. I forgive myself for forgetting my wisdom, for forgetting and ignoring my intuitions. I forgive myself. I forgive myself with everything I got in me. I forgive myself with every fiber of my being. I forgive myself from this day on, for the rest of eternity. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I deserve forgiveness. I'm worthy of forgiveness. God saw fit to forgive me. I forgive myself. 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 I forgive myself, even if nobody else but God and me. I forgive myself, knowing that God is my very spirit, the source, substance, and supply of all that I experience in life. It is my home. He is who I am. She is where I'm from. It is that which animates and becomes and solidifies everything that I experience in my lifetime. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself, and I consider it done because it is done, and so it is. So go through that prayer. Go through those affirmations for every little thing that comes to your mind. Just go through it for a few days and cleanse yourself with this. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for this. I forgive myself for this. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for cheating on my husband. I forgive myself for sleeping with somebody else's husband. I forgive anything that comes to mind. Forgive yourself and see how light and free and incredible you feel. I'll talk to you soon.